Chisholm family. I'm going to be reading to you today Mrs. Ashbury's Birthday, written by Rakia Beverly, illustrated by Donald L. Hill. Happy listening!
Mrs. Ashbury's Birthday, written by Rakia Beverly, illustrated by Donald L. Hill, MBA. Follow us at mrsashburysworld.com, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Mrs. Ashbury's Birthday, written by Rakia Beverly, illustrated by Donald Hill, MBA. To Mom and Dad, thank you for everything. Boys and girls, I have an announcement to make. We have about 20 minutes left in the day, and I need you to clean up. Check your mailboxes, get your lunch boxes and backpack, then meet me on the carpet. All of the students quickly cleaned up in order for Mrs. Ashbury to make her announcement. Eagerly, the students sat on the carpet. Tomorrow, I will be celebrating my birthday, said Mrs. Ashbury. The class erupted with cheers. Every student raised their hand, but Mrs. Ashbury only chose one student to call on. Yes, Rhonda, said Mrs. Ashbury in a soft voice. Rhonda said, what would you like for your birthday? I got nail polish for my birthday and a lot of cupcakes, and all of my friends were invited to my birthday party. Rhonda could hardly get her last word out before Ralphie interrupted. Who cares about what you got for your birthday, Rhonda? I had a motocross birthday party and I had hundreds of people there. Rhonda's face grew sad. Mrs. Ashbury was disappointed that Ralphie interrupted Rhonda while she was trying to share. In a kind and patient voice, Mrs. Ashbury explained to Ralphie that everyone could share their birthday story during writing time tomorrow, and that he should be careful of his tone when speaking to his classmates. Sometimes you can say words to other people, but how you say it can truly hurt someone's feelings, said Mrs. Ashbury. She addressed the problem and redirected the conversation back to her celebration. After all, she wanted to include her students for her birthday. Okay, let's get back to my birthday celebration. I want to bring cupcakes for the class, Mrs. Ashbury said. All of the students started dancing. Mrs. Ashbury smiled and giggled. You guys are hilarious, she said. Let's cast a vote. Who would like me to bring strawberry cupcakes? Raise your hand. She began to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Next, who would like vanilla cupcakes? She counted the students who wanted vanilla. 1, 2, 3. Lastly, who wants chocolate cupcakes? 1, 2, she asked. Mrs. Ashbury used her phone to type the students' responses. The bell rang and the students left for the day. Mrs. Ashbury packed her things. She went to the grocery store to buy the ingredients to bake cupcakes for her class. She bought flour, confectioner's sugar, eggs, oil, and cupcake liners. She remembered Rhonda was vegan, so she used a banana instead of eggs for her cupcake. Mrs. Ashbury left the store and headed home. When she got home, she put her apron on, washed her hands before cooking, and then started mixing the ingredients in her mixer. Wow, these are going to be amazing, she thought. I'll add sprinkles to the vanilla cupcakes and put a strawberry on top of the strawberry. And chocolate cakes? Maybe drizzle fudge on top. Mrs. Ashbury got the cupcake pan out of the cabinet, poured the batter into the pans and placed them in the oven, and then set the timer for 1 hour and 45 minutes. Mrs. Ashbury started singing, bake, bake, baking cupcakes. Bake, 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 and my students some cupcakes. Mrs. Ashbury decided to sit in her favorite spot in her house, her recliner. Tick, tock, The cupcakes were in the oven baking, and Mrs. Ashbury could feel herself getting tired, so she decided to grate papers. Tick tock, tick tock. Time was passing by, and the timer hadn't gone off yet to let her know the cupcakes were done. Mrs. Ashbury paused from grating papers to take out the delicious cupcakes she baked. Mrs. Ashbury cried, "Oh my, the cupcakes are burnt! How will I be able to celebrate my birthday with my students now?" she thought. The next day at school, she greeted her students at the door. Almost every student asked when it would be cupcake time. She told the students she would talk to them during morning meeting. All of the students joined her on the carpet. "Boys and girls," in a sad voice, "I set the timer too long for the cupcakes and they burned." Rhonda raised her hand and said, "It's okay, Mrs. Ashbury. We've all made a mistake before." Ralphie chimed in again, and this time his tone was different. "Yeah, Mrs. Ashbury, it's okay. One time I baked cookies with my grandma and she burned them, and my grandpa said, 'No more baking for you,' he said." Mrs. Ashbury smiled. Ralphie had one more thing to say. "I saved half of my peanut butter and jelly sandwich for lunch. We can sing to you and we can share my half with everyone." Mrs. Ashbury chuckled. "It's okay, Ralphie. You save your peanut butter and jelly. You all singing to me is all I need," she said. And so Rhonda and Ralphie led the class in singing, "Happy birthday, dear Mrs. Ashbury. Happy birthday to you." Mrs. Ashbury realized her students loved her for who she is, not because she was making them cupcakes. That was Mrs. Ashbury's best birthday ever.
We have read our story for tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it. See you guys soon. Love you. Miss you.